talks with Chucky, me and you. It's big small talks, BSing with the group. It's big small talks, expanding points of view. It's big small talks, it's big small talk.
I was a little scared. I was like, I mean, do you want a podcast?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you do.
Yeah, we're doing yeah, are we doing video? Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
but
do video.
I think if this is rather successful, then it's gonna be somewhat pleasing to Austin, so he's not stressing to have to do everything himself.
Yeah, that we can actually that we know what we're doing.
Because I don't know if you guys know just by watching, but so what has been happening the last couple of weeks is like me and Charlie get here and we just sit around with coffee, like pretty much just having our own conversation about movies and stuff. And then Austin's like rewiring everything. That one, I think it was the first one that I did with you guys. And I was there. And then that was when just shit was just not going well. The colors of everything, of the panels, of the chairs.
Of the floor.
Yeah, he was just bummed.
It was a bad day. And we try to help, but then sometimes you just feel like you're getting in the way. So we're like, we're just going to back off and like chill in the back and then let us know. You know, like I'll like set up the camera.
I try to be good about my fake audio engineering. Like I try to not say too many suggestions because then that's obvious. But I'll just say, I'll wait like every 10 minutes to be like, oh, maybe if we reboot the system.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
Well, like, I'm even worse because I don't know anything audio. So when I do mention something and he'll be like, oh, let me check that. I'm like, that was right? Oh, shit. Like,
I know that's...
Wait, how do we get this where it's going with us?
Oh, it's going. Yeah.
No, but like where you could see it where it's like...
Here. Let me just pull it up.
Am I really loud in your headphones?
No.
No? Okay, cool. I feel like I'm screaming.
No.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
I saw this thing and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be so freaking loud.
Well, also what these knobs do is like if you put them lower, you could yell much more cleaner. So if this was like clipping, then it sounds distorted.
Gotcha.
It sounds like a punk rock
I might even take this off, take one ear off, you know? Let's get crazy with it.
I just want to feel the vibration of your voice on my chest.
Yeah, you're like, go louder.
Make the sound of a boat.
We're just going to be screaming the entire podcast.
No, dude. But just suppress it. Put a filter on it. And you just have to guess exactly what we're yelling about.
Yeah, exactly. So, dude, I watched Justice League. I'm going to pull some shit up for you. You haven't seen it yet, right? Did you watch the original?
I watched the original.
Okay.
I was half drunk.
Okay.
And that was when it's one of those like crowd kind of experiences where if everyone doesn't like it, especially if I don't know the world of like Justice League or anything.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I don't think that was good. But it was just like I just took what everyone was saying because they thought like I thought they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah. Well, it was bad. The first one was bad.
It's rough.
I didn't like it. I don't even remember it. I must have just like suppressed it. But this Zack Snyder's cut was really good. I pulled a couple things up here.
Castrato.
Not that, no. Well, first was showing like the first thing I remember from the Justice League was like how bad they CGI'd Superman. And we were talking about that. Like his mustache, because basically he was in Mission Impossible Fallout and he had a mustache and Warner Brothers was like, he needs the mustache for the film. And they were already reshooting it for the Whedon cut. So they had to CGI his mustache. And I just want to pull it up because it's disgusting. Bro, what is that? Hold on.
Dude, he looks like he has, like, he's hiding gum in his behind his upper lip.
You can't zoom in. That's disgusting.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to zoom in.
Yeah, I don't, like, why?
If you hold it down, maybe, like you click and then hold it down, perhaps. Oh, you see that one on the bottom right there? He has a mustache.
Yeah, I'm like, let's just like
just let him have the mustache.
Just let him have a Superman mustache.
Yeah, that seems consistent.
Okay. Well, you know, apparently I don't know how to work this computer.
No, I'm just looking at that stash, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, he was disgusting. But no, the Snyder Cut, and then we were watching that little like overview of it. Like the lighting's better. The like cinematography is way better. Like how everything's edited was way better. Everybody's story, like backstory and everything kind of flows better. Like it just was a better movie in general. Not even just like an action movie, like because some of it was still the same, but they added a lot more like what we're plot holes, they added a lot more. So ended up being really good.
Was this one the one that was like widescreen, or was the other one widescreen? So like
the other one was like a normal screen. This one was shot 4:3 or whatever. So it basically just brought it in just a little bit.
It's like closer.
Yeah. It basically like so there's a little bit of black on the sides, but it was crisp. Like it looked really good. And then because it was Snyder's original version, that was pre the mission Fallout, so they didn't even have to do anything with Superman's face.
And you said that they shot the prequel kind of scene of like Zeus and all the gods fighting Earth, where the first version didn't have that.
No, I don't think so. Where this was like, so basically, spoilers, but Darkseid comes to Earth back in the like, you know, years and years, thousands of years ago, whatever. And like the old gods fought him off. So now these are like the new gods, which I could talk about that later. But so like Zeus and Ares and Artemis and like a Green Lantern and like King Atlantis. And like they're all like they all like fight Darkseid basically. So like that wasn't in there. In the epilogue, did you watch Batman vs Superman?
I did.
You did? So
you know what? That was the one that I saw. That was the one that I was half drunk at.
Oh, okay.
That I don't really remember.
So do you? Yeah. Oh, so you don't remember? I'd say, do you remember the part where it's like kind of like he's like desert Batman, and then like Superman's bad? It's like a dream he had.
Yes.
So they do that again in Justice League at the epilogue, and now he's teamed up with the Joker. And this is like, because did you see Suicide Squad?
Mm-mm.
I hated his Joker in that. Like they try to make him like cool. Like he's like wearing chains, like he's a rapper, has like tattoos, and they try to make him like too, like, I don't know, it was really weird. But this one, he looked really good. Like he looked crazy. Like this was the best that Jared Leto has been as the Joker, and it was.
And this is just his second crack at it, right?
Yes.
So do you think that the first one was his vision of it, or what do you think that was like the directors or the producers?
Probably the director, honestly, because this one it was more serious and crazy. So that that fit more, because with Suicide Squad, I don't know if we touched on it before, but basically they had to reshoot it because it was around the same time as Guardians of the Galaxy. So Guardians of the Galaxy came out and it was like one of the best movies and it was funny and everything. So, and then the first critics were saying that Suicide Squad was too dark. So they went back and like re-edited it. They basically just try to put like humor in there, but it comes off as like not authentic. You know what I mean? Well,
because you know the backstory. Like, you know, you see articles saying like reshot because not funny enough. Then it's like, because if we saw Forrest Gump and it's like, oh, it wasn't like he wasn't retarded enough, then like, oh, they remake it where he's not doing as much. Yeah, like he volunteers for the army, but like they just have him like serve ice cream or something. Like, you know, like making it more like he has a disability.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's one of those, it's one of those things where it's like, after saying that and then saying that they had to reshoot it, now you're just plugging something in that like wasn't there first. And like DC's not supposed to be that funny.
It's like,
it's darker.
Well, it's like a Mandela effect, but everybody saw the solid
exactly
redone. But I feel like it's good for a franchise to be something else that the other ones are not.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So Marvel's like, they got the funny, they got the action, they got, I guess, the family, like the emotion behind it, where DC could be like, well, we're not going to be as good as they are. Like, we've proven that. So we should just try to be the Jason Bourne of just
like, but yeah, it's like, you know, comics. You guys are darker. Just be darker. Be darker and be like, that's more authentically yourself. And I think they have better stories than Marvel, like in the comics and stuff. So I think they could be better if they just stick to what they're doing and don't try to do what Marvel's doing.
Well, and then isn't like superhero movies supposed to be like fucked up? Like, there's this evil guy that's like ready to do whatever it takes to get at the top. I mean, we've seen that in history a couple times, you know, with Stalin, with Hitler and all that, and we saw what's going down there. You would think that someone in this fictitious world could be even worse than that.
Yeah.
So what if they played it out? You know, but I guess because I mean they can't, because it's like it's a child thing as well.
Well, no, but Justice League, the new one, they made rated R. Okay. So like, which I think is better because it's a little more gory. There's a couple more like F-bombs.
There's titties.
No,
not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. You don't see Wonder Woman's titties yet.
Well, society's getting more progressive, so
yeah. Bro, it's the same thing that happened
Is
last
that really?
time. This is this. Yeah,
Let's. Why is that there?
I don't know.
Oh well, it's gone.
There you guys go. That happened to us the last podcast. I don't know, 2 podcasts ago,
That's gonna hurt. Well,
and now we find out that's what it is.
yeah, we could edit that out afterwards.
Austin's
but-
gonna be like, "What did I leave you guys doing?"
Yeah, what if we just did that every like 10 minutes, or at the end, or if that was the segue, like to a different topic?
Yeah, and
So let's
now-
talk about
and then it goes
society.
off. Oh, dude, I know. I heard it the first time, and I was like, "What the hell?" Or like Austin said it to us, and then now, yeah, at least now we could hear it. We didn't hear it last time.
No, I didn't, because I didn't listen to the podcast.
No, but I'm saying like how like we like heard it in
Mhm.
real time. We didn't hear it last time. You heard it like on the recording.
Yeah, Austin, maybe Austin's fucking with us.
Yeah. He put it in there.
He just puts it super distorted. It would start bleeding out of our
Yeah.
ears. Son of a bitch.
I know. He's been setting us up.
He
the whole
gets
time.
out. He's like, I didn't think you would get this far.
Yeah.
Like an evil
Yeah, it's
villain.
another level. He's the evil villain in Justice League.
He's the Bowser.
Yeah.
What if they made Mario, but like they made it like a serious,
like a real life, like real life Mario.
yeah. And then so like the superhero would be, he'd be kind of buff, but like almost like a buff Jack Black, kind of like husky.
Yeah. Like he's got some size to him.
And like he's like, and because they're like supposed to be Italian, I guess it could be like
Yeah.
mafia style.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bowser is like,
Wait,
could be
I
super
think they're
Italian.
not Italians.
Why do
Or
they?
are
ha-
they?
Don't they have? But well, they're Japanese technically.
Well, I just actually I did a little trivia on this the other day. Damn it, I don't remember it.
What it like? Are they a European descent? Or-
Yeah, I thought they were supposed like they got confused for, or maybe they got confused for plumbers, or they are plumbers and they got confused for Italians.
There was a movie, actual like movie in I think the 90s or 80s. It was like a
Oh,
real
really?
life, and it was like
Like a live action.
Yeah, but they were like fat. Well, at least Mario was this fat Italian plumber. Hey Luigi, you gotta help! Like it literally was like that. I forget exactly the plot, but
Yeah.
it was just super cheesy and what I guess you would expect. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
if they made
What if
like
it's like Godzilla versus King Kong and Godzilla's Bowser?
God damn, but he's
But
that big,
Not that big. Like maybe like
or he is, but then Mario and Luigi
when he hits the
eat
mushroom. Yeah, and
he's
they
like,
bloop, 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 and then they're as big as buildings.
and then he gets the what is it, the leaf, and he becomes the raccoon.
I haven't seen that part. I've never done that before.
Really, the Super Mario game, like when he gets the it's like
I've
the
only seen
leaf
the mushroom.
the green,
Or when
mushroom.
he's like the gold mushroom, and he's like, buh, buh, buh. No, that's not
that's Mario
Kart. Fuck.
Yeah. No, I think
Doesn't he also
they
do
have
that?
so they have the red mushroom just to boost your size,
Okay.
your lives. The green mushroom, which I think it's 2 or 3. It's like it's extra lives.
Okay.
And then like you'll just see this random leaf. It's either a leaf or a feather or something like, and you get it, and then it turns him into a raccoon. Like not
What?
even a raccoon. He just gets a raccoon tail, and then
Is that from like the
raccoon
OG or is this like a new one?
Or look it up. Just search.
Oh, hold on. I gotta this mouse.
Yeah, or just go to the Google search engine, and I'll type in Mario raccoon.
Go ahead. Just type it. Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Mario raccoon.
I spelled raccoon wrong.
Bro, what?
Yeah, so that's just one of his superpowers. Like who thought of that?
Yeah, who went? You know what's good is a raccoon.
You know, it'd be good. You know what's a
Okay.
good flying creature? A fucking raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll
Wait,
get
so is he just like super fast or something? Hold on, bro. You
no,
could
he
you
just
could
flies.
dress up not only as Mario but raccoon Mario.
that's so confusing to people that have no fucking idea.
Yeah, if I saw that, I'd be like,
We're like, what
why
are
do you
doing?
have Tigger's tail on Mario?
Or are you Tigger dressed up as Mario?
Yeah,
That is confusing.
it's very confusing. I don't
Yeah.
like it.
So anyway, so
so
that
Justice
was,
League. No,
But yeah, I think that would be fucking cool. Like if they made like a Mario universe
yeah, for sure.
where like Yoshi was
They're,
in there, like
I heard someone was telling me that they're going to make, I think it was one of my coworkers was telling me they're going to make an Avatar universe. So like, did you ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I watched the animated show.
Yeah, so they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be animated, but they're gonna. I think it's gonna be animated, maybe live action, but they're basically making like a whole studio, and they're gonna do like a universe. So like, because they already did the Korra, which is like after, and they'll do like prequels, and they'll do like a whole like big universe, which kind of crazy.
Are you like from watching the last movie, like that live action movie? Are you kind of scared that it's gonna?
I didn't watch it. I didn't want to. I didn't want it to ruin.
Did you hear negative
all
critics
I heard was
before,
negative.
well, like beforehand, or were you like, whether it's good or not, you're like, I'm not doing it?
I saw the trailer and I was like, hell no. Because I watched. Did you ever watch the Dragon Ball Z movie they made live action? God awful. And so when I saw that, I was like, this is just going to be that, probably even worse. So I was like, I'm not going to do it.
Did they ever make a Pokemon
live action?
Live action?
They made Detective Pikachu. Actually, really good. Because Ryan Reynolds was the voice of Pikachu, and he's funny. So that was good.
Was it? I knew that's the only thing I know about the movie. Is it in like Japan or
like where does it take place?
Yeah. Is it like the actual like? Is it Ash?
No.
It has nothing
Actually,
to do with Ash.
I don't know if he goes by Ash. Just look up Detective Pikachu. There you go. So it's like, so he's like a little, but it's Ryan Reynolds, and he like goes off, he like lives off coffee and stuff. It's like, I think there's like comics on Detective Pikachu, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's a comedy. It's a straight comedy. It's not like really has much to do with Pokemon.
Mewtwo's in it too.
What does he do? He's the
bad guy, kind of like old Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Didn't I don't know much about that either, but wasn't he like got on the side of Ash and the good side? Like
at the end.
Okay.
But at the beginning, he's basically like humans are like enslaving Pokemon or something like that. He's like sentient. Is that the word? Or he's like self-aware because he's basically like a human. So he's basically like humans are bad. And I think he was going to try to like destroy the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was like 20 years ago. But this one I think is pretty similar too because they're like running tests on him. But yeah, it's pretty good though. Not gonna lie.
Like when you see that, don't you just picture Seth MacFarlane's voice?
Yeah,
a little bit, kind of like Ted.
Yeah, I just watched.
Yeah,
Ted
my
again.
name's Pikachu.
Well, everyone wanted. You don't watch It's Always Sunny, huh? You guys don't watch It's Always Sunny. Danny DeVito. They wanted Danny DeVito because they basically like. There's all these edits of Danny DeVito saying like ridiculous like stuff on YouTube, and they put it on Pikachu's, like put it during the trailer. So he's like, oh, like let me get this Magnum condom for my Magnum dong, but it's Pikachu and it's Danny DeVito. So like the fans all wanted Danny DeVito, but it was Ryan Reynolds.
There's going to be a time like if they're able to redo these huge $200 million budget comic films, they're going to be able to do that. Just like, oh, we should do like like almost like a remix of this just for fun's sake.
Well, I think DC was trying to do that with Injustice. If we're going to bring this full circle with Justice League. Injustice is the video game. So that's like when he goes in those nightmares where he's like in the desert and Superman's bad. That's what they made the game off of. So basically, and it's super gory too. It's like Joker kills Lois Lane, and then Superman punches through the Joker, like kills him. Like you see, like he like Joker's like sitting there. Actually, look it up. Look up Superman kills Joker. It's fucking sick. And then it starts this whole war where like Superman basically has like his own government and like rules over everybody. Look at that dude.
Oof. That's some Mortal Kombat status.
Yeah. Freaking sick.
Still laughing.
Freaking, yeah, exactly. Just
Batman's like, Jesus Christ,
yeah,
man.
He's like, what the fuck, bro?
That was just a misdemeanor.
He's like, that's my homie. Yeah, dude. So, like, that's like, there's a whole, like, I think there's like 4 books on it, but that ends up being like a whole story of like him, like, he's so sad from Lois Lane. And if you look in the movies, that's part of the thing that makes him bad in the movies too. So they're like trying to do that. So that's like a fun, like, offshoot they could do. I don't know if they'll do it, but they've been hinting at it. So,
I mean, you could just go on for 100 years with these movies.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much like stories they have, and they haven't even like scratched the surface. Especially DC. Like DC has some crazy ass stories. You know what I mean? like ones that like talk about like different like timelines and like parallel universes, and like there's one where I don't know if you know, they wrote Robin to die. So like they asked the fans like, should Joker kill Robin or not? And all the fans said yes. And then Joker kills Robin in one of the old ones, and then that Robin gets reincarnated back as Red Hood. Sick ass story. It goes like this huge long story, and they haven't even like touched that yet.
Robin gets turned into Red. So Robin, so he doesn't have a costume yet as Robin, or he does?
No, he's Robin. And then actually they in Batman vs Superman, if you look, there's the Robin costume. It says ha 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 ha, like with the Joker on it. So it's kind of like Joker killed Robin, and that is a like a nod to that.
So in this one well, I guess it doesn't. So in Suicide Squad, because I didn't see it or really know about it.
Okay.
So he actually like does martial arts, and like he's
the Joker.
So what's his like lethal skill? Like how is he?
It's and the whole thing with Joker is that like he has ties from everybody. So like he'll like show up somewhere, like he always has like guns, and he has like his gang, and he always shows up at like the right time to like. Yeah, I mean, like he always like gets his way usually, so that's usually like the Joker thing. So
okay, because I was just comparing to like Heath Ledger.
Ledger.
Like he had a good shot, like when he was like in that underpass or whatever, but like wasn't like he was gonna fight.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, he kind of fought a little bit, but like more like a crazy dude. Like yeah, he wasn't like combat, but he'd like kind of sit there and then like would throw a kick, or he had the dogs.
Yeah, when he had a free shot. But I guess that's a Joker thing, right? Like you're not. Like he wouldn't, I guess, like minimize his skills of fighting.
Right, exactly.
Like he would rather
he's so much more.
He's more manipulating.
Yeah, he'd rather have other people fight for him and like cause chaos and stuff.
Work on his watch tutorials on makeup and.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna be chilling. Yeah.
What if that was like half his life was like getting good at? I mean, if you see, like, let's just take Jared Leto's right there in the second one. If he took the time to dye his own hair, did his makeup, got his strategy right. I mean, there must be some time and effort.
Oh yeah, he's for sure. Well, the whole thing is that actually it's supposed to be that the acid did that to him
on purpose
when he fell into the vat of acid. So then that's how he got green hair and like white skin.
Oh,
or that he actually dyed his hair green, but the white skin is from the acid.
So he was already bad before that.
Joker, no. So okay, here's another thing. So there's this comic book called The Killing Joke. It's like it's pretty graphic, and actually they made it into an animated movie, and it's rated R because his whole thing is anybody could be me. He's like, it just takes one bad day. So it shows like kind of his backstory, which you don't know if it's true or not because it's kind of told by him. But basically, like his wife dies, and then he like tries to like rob like a chemical plant because he's trying to save up money because his wife's pregnant, I'm pretty sure. And he doesn't have any money. He's like he's a failed comedian. And then he gets like double crossed by those guys. Like I said, his wife's dead, falls into the vat of acid, and then he just basically like laughs about it, and then he becomes like the Joker. So he's basically like, and then so what he does in the comic is Jim Gordon, like the detective, he like breaks into his house and then like knocks him out, paralyzes his daughter, and like sexually abuses her. And then he puts Jim Gordon in this carnival on like a ride and to like see the pictures of like Joker doing that to his daughter.
Jesus Christ.
To try to like make him go crazy. God. To make him like him.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's dark. It's very dark.
So that's just like you buy that as a kid and you just
it came out. When did it come out? I think it was like in the last 20 years it came out. I mean, like I think in the 2000s, but yeah, it's a pretty dark novel. I have the novel or whatever, and I've watched the movie. But
is it when they're illustrating it and all that? Like, is it more of a hinting that he sexually assaulted? It's like, oh well, this is like because it like shows like well, okay.
It's kind. I mean, like they show like a little bit, like they'll show like because like he's showing like Jim Gordon the Polaroids of like his like naked daughter, but you don't really like see anything, but like you know what's happening kind of thing. So.
Well, it's like it's not. It's like it's some sort of tormenting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're not going to just show him like feeding cereal to her. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
no.
It's pretty crazy. But then like the whole point is like Batman's like, no, he's because like Jim Gordon's like, he doesn't turn crazy, and so Batman's like, no, no one's like you. So he takes him, takes him back to Arkham or whatever. But the whole thing was like, you could be just like me, and so it's basically Joker's backstory. But
Damn. You know what's funny is that
Rough.
most like our generation, I would think their Joker is Heath Ledger.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's almost taking this figure that already had a history, like another path. So it's like,
yeah,
so it's almost
it's like another layer.
Yeah, which is kind of a crazy thing because you could have arguments for different Jokers, like, oh, this one was the best, or
Right. Like Jack
the guy-
Nicholson
the
or
guy
Jared
that
Leto.
the guy that played Luke Luke Skywalker.
Oh, Mark Hamill.
Like even though that wasn't live action, it's like, oh, like that one was the most.
Yeah, he was the Joker, which like nobody knows that like Mark Hamill's the Joker. But if you watch him, like when he does it, like he goes to like Comic-Con and he'll do like the Joker laugh, dude. It's so weird watching Luke Skywalker do a Joker laugh. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I feel like he was probably the best Joker until Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Well, I think as an animator, like once you're doing animations, because no one's really looking at you, so it's almost like this kind of comforting kind of acting exercise where, I mean, he has the directors and production people watching, but you're not having to perform. You could be anything.
Yeah,
basically.
And just your voice. Like you don't have to worry about your face. You don't have to worry about the worst thing about Jared Leto's Joker is the laugh. He goes ah. It's like super slow. It's like it's I don't like it.
Well, because I don't think Batman or whoever like has time to just soak it in. He's like, okay, like because I watched a little bit of that ending of the and how they were having this conversation where they're giving each other time to talk. It's like, oh no, you talk, I'll listen.
Yeah.
So when when it's like laughing, it's like because there's I don't know.
Well, he's work and the epilogue of Justice League. I need to go back to describing Justice League. They're working together. That's why.
Oh, I see.
So they're on the same team because they're trying to go against Superman. So it's like it's Aquaman's girlfriend, Deathstroke, which is like Deadpool, Batman, Joker, and I think somebody else. So like Superman kills Harley Quinn, and kills Aquaman and stuff like that. So
he kills them in suicides.
No, in that like nightmare injustice.
Oh, it's in the okay.
In this thing. So in the offshoot. So this is like a side thing that they do, like a what if. But in that what if, that's what happens.
Okay. And so they play it out though, right?
That's what they've been doing in Batman vs Superman and Justice League.
Okay. So but in the real life movies, they like that's not because Justice League, Superman's on their side, right?
Yeah. But so like basically how Justice League is the movie, the Zack Snyder cut is set up. It's in chapters. So chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which makes the 4 hours a little bit easier to watch when it's broken up like that. But then there's the epilogue, and the epilogue has a couple things on it. But the main one being the nightmare again, where he thinks Superman's going bad. So that little like 10 minutes, that's the hint at injustice.
And it shows him killing Margot Robbie.
No, it doesn't show that. No, that's just like hinted at it because basically Jared Leto and the Joker and Batman are kind of going back and forth, like how they're talking, and so Batman's like, "Well, I was holding." He was like said something about what about you, Batman? You don't love anybody, and then he's basically like, "Well, I had Harley Quinn dying in my arms, and like, where were you?" kind of thing. So it was kind of like a back and forth.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like I mean, again, back to like bring the Justice League, to like wrap it up, like with everything like it did, like it just was way better. Definitely bring snacks. Definitely like take a break. I think there should have been like an intermission, which would have been kind of cool. But because they break it up into parts, there's 6 parts in an epilogue, or 7 parts, something like that. So it's kind of makes it a little bit easier. You feel like you can like digest what just happened. Because one of my like gripes with Batman vs Superman and Justice League is they try to cram a lot into a little bit of time. Or at least like Marvel, like Endgame, it's 3.5 hours. They had started with 3.5 hours. They knew it was going to be a lot, and everyone wanted it. So like, I remember I had to rewatch Batman vs Superman to really kind of like get the timing down of the movie. It was too sped up. It's like too much happened. So breaking it up into like chapters like that, I think worked really well.
Yeah, you got to. I
Yeah.
mean,
4
especially-
hours is tough.
Well, especially because people's attention spans are much smaller, I would think.
Yeah.
The last like long movie, like just straight through, was have you ever seen Schindler's List?
No, I have.
Do you know like what it is though? Right?
Yeah, that's the one with like Liam Neeson, right? He's like they're like in the Nazis or something like that.
Yeah, he saves Jews. No, so he's like this. I think he's from like Hungary or some other Eastern European country.
Okay.
But he's in Germany and he's just an entrepreneur, and he's like in with the Nazi party. This is like before everything really went bad. But he sees that they're prohibiting Jews to work. And so that's when they start putting them in the ghettos and like assigning them and everything like that.
Bro, it's kind of chunky.
It's chunky.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Oh yeah, you got the bottom. I thought you were. You looked at me.
no.
You looked at me like, oh, dude, this is so sad
Dude,
already.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's the milk or the coffee, but that thing had chunks.
I think it was both. You feel okay?
I'm good.
Got to take a minute, dude. The veins in your forehead are popping out,
Bro, I was like, what the fuck was that right now?
Like, man, I hate anti-Semitism.
Thank God I just...
I can't take it.
God, okay. We're good. Talk to me about...
All right, so about 6 million dead Jews.
Yeah.
So, like, this is happening, and then he's taking it, like, getting a step ahead. He's like, oh, well, here's all these cheap employees that could come work at my factory because the war effort, they need supplies for the war effort. So, like,
Right.
pots and pans, bullets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what better to have cheap labor than people that are just need 1 cent because they can't work anymore. They can't do whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have permits to get out of the ghetto to come work. So it's like an excuse to not be in a prison camp through these permits to work.
So
then-
he's kind of saving them through work.
And the whole time, like, he doesn't really have much empathy for them. So you almost see this like, oh, he's doing such a good thing.
yeah.
He's like, I'm just doing this to make
money.
I'm making a fortune. And so by the end of it, it's like they're starting to kill a lot of them, and they actually round them up to Auschwitz and all these places.
Mm-hmm.
And so he realized, like, after like 3.5 hours of this, and it's like the most, like, if you think Saving Private Ryan is pretty like crazy, like regarding people getting shot or whatnot,
Yeah.
or any like, I guess, Holocaust kind of movie if you've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing compared to this. And also the guy that plays,
Isn't the guy who played Voldemort in
yeah,
it?
he plays just this demented, like,
Is he
dude.
like a Nazi
Yeah.
soldier or something like that? Or like a
he's
general?
and he just like kills for fun, and
Shit.
yeah, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
But
How long is that movie?
I think it's like 3.5.
Yeah.
So we have it in DVD, and it's split in 2 parts, like a vinyl. It's like, done with part A, which is like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think Endgame was the last like 3.5 hour. Interstellar, I think, was 3 hours, 3:17. Schindler's List is 3 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's just,
That's
but
tough.
just think of like this very,
Yeah, but also like if it's emotionally draining like that makes it so much longer.
like if you're, especially if like you watched this in theaters and you had family that died and all this stuff, I would assume you would cry at least like 10 times.
Yeah, like it's not. Yeah, damn, it's probably triggering to
Yeah.
like people if you're.
I heard that stories of when Saving Private Ryan came out, the opening scene is just them
Dude.
getting into Omaha Beach and all that.
Have you
Like,
seen
there's-
it or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've only seen the Omaha Beach thing.
That's it. You're like, I don't need to watch anymore.
Well, it ended up being long, and I think we had something to do because I was watching my siblings, and then we ended up finishing it. And then I remember in my cinema class, he was basically talking about how like sound and like all this other stuff, like basically cranked it to like fucking all the way up and made us watch the beginning part. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm getting like scarred. I'm like, I just watched like 1,000 people just get killed and like
It starts
20
out
minutes.
with Tom Hanks on the boat, and he's shaking, drinking his water. Like,
Yeah,
this,
everyone's all
and then
freaked out.
People are throwing up. People are praying like to their gods. and then they open
The
the
door
door,
just-
and then just people just get capped, and
like they're wearing helmets, like bing, and like goes through, like, and then there's the people's like their arms are off, and like they're like trying to.
Yeah.
The one dude's like trying to pick up his guts. He's like trying to put it back
he's
in.
screaming for his mom.
Yeah.
and then when Tom Hanks is like when there was a cannon shot right by him, so that was the quintessential scene where there's a blackout and he wakes up and it's just like it's all quiet. It's like doo, 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 and he's just like this, and he's just seeing people, a guy on fire. This guy was looking for his arm. He,
Yeah,
like, just
and he
picked it up.
finds it, and he's like,
He was the most chill guy.
Yeah,
he was
he's
like, it was kind of bothering me anyway.
yeah,
One
he like
less thing
picks
to
it up,
do.
and he's like, "Do you need an arm?"
Yeah. Oh, I don't need this. He's
Yeah.
right. He's just offering his arm.
Yeah,
He's giving people pats on the back with his decapitated arm.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That scene, that beginning, like, I'll never unsee that. That shit's rough.
And for me, because I'm not super sensitive to those things. Like, I
Okay.
know that's probably something that has happened or might be happening, but because I'm watching it for entertainment reasons, like that's like
You're able to separate
that's
it?
Like, yeah, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
So like when I go into war,
because I don't want to see that in real life. So show me
Yeah.
it here.
and that's just what I want about war movies. Like, have you ever seen 1917?
I didn't see that. No.
So it got like a lot of good awards.
Yeah.
A lot of big awards. Did really well, but there wasn't a lot of killing. It was more of like it's more of a drama.
Dunkirk was kind of like that too, I think. Dunkirk had like a decent amount of killing, but it wasn't
Yeah.
there's Saving Private Ryan, and then there's
Yeah. So the idea was like, so this movie, it was all supposed to take in one shot. So it doesn't it cut a couple times. So you probably didn't notice, but where it's like this one thing and it isn't going to cut to this. It was all just one. So it was like its own perspective.
Oh, that's sick.
And so it did drive the emotion and the intensity a lot.
It does. No,
Of this one guy.
Because we talked about it on the podcast, but Austin and I talk about Haunting a Hill House, and the sixth episode or something like that. The entire hour episode has 3 cuts, and the first cut comes like 20 minutes in. The second one comes in like 40 minutes in. I mean, and it not cutting like builds suspense. Like we're talking about like breaking up a movie like Justice League into like parts, like breaking up like a scene and like not breaking it up, like it builds the tension so much.
Well, and you kind of like how unpredictable it is going to be. It's almost like you don't like, dang, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And like when they do that, when it's like kind of rotating slow, it's like just suspense is going on, you know what I mean? Like the whole time. So
Yeah, they're able to cut like kind of proficiently. So there's probably more cuts than you think,
yeah.
but it's just where like sometimes it's
Well, Hill House only is 3 cuts. I've counted.
that's what-
It's like for sure like 3 cuts. For like
well, I'm
an
just saying
hour.
that's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
Where like behind the scenes that like they may, because they have everything, like it's not like this where everything's according to like the measurements.
Yeah.
So where they could do like cut, we got to do this thing again, where they do the same thing and then they could compare the 2 shots and
Yeah.
actually just splice them together.
Well, if you look at, they actually like, they look up Haunting Hill House one shot.
Yeah.
I think it was for sure like
I just think that's what they want you to believe.
no, there was like articles on it. Type in one shot. Yeah.
I don't know what this show is.
Oh, it's a like a horror. There we go. One shot. It's a horror show. It's really good. Breaks down that one shot episode. So okay, I'm not wearing my glasses. So, what's it called? So 1917. Like, there's like literally like a couple shots. Like they like don't shoot.
Yeah, they say 5 long takes, 3 in a funeral home, 2 at the Hill House.
Right. So if you look like, man, well, we talked about it on the podcast before, but basically like they again, it's 5 shots and the episode's an hour. You know what I mean? So like you're the suspense is like, you know what I mean? Like so like built up, especially because it's a horror film too. So you're like, when it's like rotating down a dark hallway, you're like, oh my God, what the hell's going to pop up?
Happen?
Yeah. So like it's super spooky, but it made me like appreciate like the director more, like editing more, You know what I mean? Like the cutting room stuff, like all that stuff. I feel like and like the cinematography of it all, like I feel like I appreciate it more when I find out those kind of things.
Do you ever watch behind the scenes of films? TV
Sometimes.
shows?
Yeah, sometimes I'll do that. I feel like because like now, like I get it, like the Justice League thing is like 4 years later. And I feel like we've talked about it, like when someone like really messes up the first time, or like you said, like if you go to like a spot and like your food's messed up, the second one's always gonna be better because you think they redid it, even if they didn't.
Yeah.
But I got to see like actual differences between two directors. And again, like he had a bunch of time to like perfect it, but still like the director does a lot, obviously. I mean, it's not like shocking to say, but
Yeah, like I wonder. I'm curious because like if there's like this overall mood, you know, it's almost like having a new GM or something at your store. It's like
yeah.
if they instill this leadership and this kind of hone the action, like you know, telling people like you could make a difference. Like every time you come into work, it's just like based on whether you want it or not.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know the directing styles of these two directors. Because you also want to think too, if the first one was like actually good, everyone felt good about it and everything, and then just in the editing room, just didn't
Right.
happen. And if people's expectations was just so high, and kind of like I was saying, like when I watched Superman versus Batman. Just because I heard a bunch of people saying it was bad, I just assumed it was.
Yeah. Well,
So-
Batman vs Superman was actually better than Justice League. You know what I mean? So like, and
Well, the story is just
yeah,
badass.
and I think that like they like I don't think the expectations for Justice League were that high because of how bad DC has done besides the Christopher Nolan stuff. Like I feel like their expectations were pretty low. I feel like you know all you had to do was go up and they went down still. But their biggest thing I think is they don't understand like the continuity they have or like the timelines. It's like a did we lose that? It's like an old Batman with a young Superman, and then now the Robert Pattinson Batman is going to be a young Batman again. So it's like where are we going with this? You know what I mean?
So
That's good.
that's weird.
Solid.
Here, go back to
This thing right here.
yeah. Try that out. Or no, that's gonna just go put this to the yeah. That's fine.
Okay, whatever.
We'll just say things and then people will just believe it.
Yeah.
So that Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
So that's DC, or that's
Yeah, he's gonna be a Batman. Yeah, he's gonna be.
so that's a
Batman.
prequel, right?
No, I think it's just a whole nother Batman. I think they're just gonna scrap it because Ben Affleck's not Batman anymore.
So is it similar to the? Well, I guess it's not because I was going to say, is it similar to the Spider-Man? But all the Spider-Mans have been different studios, right?
The first
First one was
two
Sony.
Spider-Mans were Sony, and the new Spider-Man's Marvel. But now in the third Spider-Man movie they're coming out with, it's gonna be all the Spider-Man together in one, like a multiverse.
That's crazy.
Which is gonna be sick.
Is Kirsten Dunst going to be in it too?
I don't know.
James
Doc
Franco?
Ock's gonna be in it.
James Franco.
I don't think James Franco's in it. I think William Dafoe is back as Green Goblin.
Avenge me.
Yeah, I think Doc Ock is in it, and then also bad guys from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like I think Jamie Foxx might be back in it, and then so it's gonna be like this whole thing they're doing. So
Crazy.
yeah, for sure.
I wonder if it's the fact that Marvel went at it first. Like if DC was just like it was just a matter of time that they were just gonna not hit it correctly. But I think kind of like the first Justice League, it's like they're gonna have to hit blanks the first couple times, and then it's just gonna ease itself out. Because there's gonna be people that just choose DC over Marvel just based on the stories.
Yeah. Like I'm a DC guy. It just sucks that their movies suck because their animated movies are good and their comics are good. So it's just like when are they gonna get their movies? Like I don't know. I mean, I've talked about it on the podcast too. Of just like I think they need to find no name actors who are gonna settle in for 10 years and then like do it the right way. You know what I mean? You know, don't stop trying to go for Ben Affleck and Christian Bale and like these big name actors. Because like Marvel, what is that noise? Do you hear that?
That's this thing. Right
Oh,
now.
is that
That's
what it is?
that's
I
the
was
hard
like,
drive.
I'm hearing like a crackle, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, the government's trying to.
Yeah,
tap
they're
in.
tapping in. It's the bird
They're
outside.
they're trying to get critics for their films to see. See, they're like listening up. They're like actually doing the research now on podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, this podcast just says it's giving it negative reviews.
Yeah, he's like, hit him, snipe him, just through the window.
They like line us both up, so like,
Yeah,
and then
live.
Austin just happens to be walking into the bedroom right there. Just all three of us capped.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like again, Marvel. Chris Evans wasn't really anything. Robert Downey Jr. was, coming back from rehab, like trying to come back into like the film game. Chris Hemsworth was just like a hot model. You know what I mean? Like all these dudes, like all these people in there, like Scarlett Johansson was in some things, but like Marvel made these people huge. You know what I mean? Like they didn't try to go for all these big like name actors. Now, like the best thing they did was Henry Cavill. He wasn't that big, and that's why he was bought into Superman. You know what I mean? Now I don't think he's going to be it anymore, just because like the franchise is just spiraling out of control. And I think they realized that with some of their other characters, because they realized like they haven't retained a Batman. Like they had Clooney as a Batman at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
right, it's fresh out of ER.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here?
That's
Val
true.
Kilmer.
That's true. Like, because you want long term.
Yeah,
like franchises that someone's going to be in a movie for at least 3 movies or something like that. So like, what I mean, there's probably thousands of actors that are just hungry for those spots. Like just
100%.
Like it's almost like a new sitcom.
Yeah,
A very, very, very wealthy global sitcom.
Yeah, I mean, like think about it. Tom Holland wasn't really anybody. Now he's huge because he's Spider-Man. I mean, but he was maybe in a couple things, and then he's like, he loves the Spider-Man role too. Like also like that's one of the things Marvel does so well. You like the role you're in. Like if DC keeps like messing up your character, you're not going to want to keep doing it. So like that also plays into effect. But Tom Holland he's like said on record, he wants to be Spider-Man for the next 10 years.
Well, and then he's lucky that he's this young where he could do this for 10 years and still have like 30, 40 years left of his career now.
To do, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And he's still like, he did, so from after Spider-Man, he's done Devil All the Time. He just did Cherry. He did a Disney movie, and something else too. I mean, like he's been like going, like he's been killing it.
He's stacking those dollars.
Heck yeah, dude. And everybody loves him. You know what I mean? He's like a fun kid. He's like, everybody likes him, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
so DC just has to, because the whole idea, and it works, like granted it works, is like if you have this big name on the ticket, people are going to be more interested. They're going to go see it. But maybe it's great that their expectations are lower so they could do more experimental things, which hopefully
I'm
doing.
Hoping after seeing this Justice League, if Zack Snyder keeps what he did here, keeps the good editing, keeps the good cinematography, the storytelling, all of that, keeps it like how he wants it, like this, not like Batman vs Superman, but like this movie. If he does that for the other movies too, it will be good. And if he gets people who are like committed, like actors that are committed to the role, like Wonder Woman, like she's in it. I mean, and her movies were pretty decent. I think the last one was bad, but like, and then they had some big name actors coming in. They had they scratched it, but they had the New Gods were coming out, which is like Darkseid. It was like high something. Basically, it's like this other like so old gods like Zeus and all that. It's like this newer version of that, and there's like the society and stuff. And they were going to do a whole film on that, and it was going to be this like really good comic writer, like an award winner and an award-winning director from like the girl who did When They See Us, and then they scratched it. It's like they just can't.
Yeah, and you wonder what that's about. I mean, it's about money. It's about if they tried it and it just wasn't working, and like they kind of related. They tried to redo How I Met Your Mother, but it was like How I Met Your Father.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and they were working on the pilot. I
love How I Met Your Mother.
Was it Andrew Santino? Do you know who that is? Have you watched Dave?
Yeah.
He's the manager, the redhead.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
no,
he's
it's funny.
And then Anders Help from Workaholics. He's like the taller preppy one. He was in it, and I just heard about this because I heard it both on their podcast about how like they tried doing the pilot, and it just did not come together. So they just scratched it.
Just like,
and because it's a huge show, and it's if it hit the first season or whatever, that's a potential 5, 6, 7, 8 year season.
Yeah.
So Anders, he was saying like honestly, like just where I'm at in my life, I just want a comfy sitcom.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
like 8 months, because a lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to be tied down.
Yeah.
But he's like, honestly, I just like a set schedule to do this for,
Well, and he's
3 or 4
not
months.
doing any like big movies or anything. Like the one thing with like Jason Segel is like he was probably like the biggest actor to come out of How I Met Your Mother.
Is this Seagal or is it Siegel?
Is it Segel?
It could be both. I mean,
Well,
I've always,
I know
I've always said
there's
it's
Steven Seagal
Siegel. Yeah.
is the martial artist.
Yeah.
I thought it was that. I thought it was like that.
Oh.
Is Jason Segel?
That's
Seagal?
just how I've said it, but I've never been corrected. It's just I've just said it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Seagal's cool though. But,
Seagal, I feel like Seagal has like a little umph to it.
But he's
like definitely like probably the biggest actor to come out.
well,
of How I Met Your
recently
Mother.
he hasn't done a lot of acting roles. He's done more like directing and writing stuff. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm not exactly.
Well, I know he wasn't going to be on like the last season of How I Met Your Mother. They had to like really try to get him back.
Why?
Like they
He
like.
just wanted out.
I think he's done. Yeah, I think like I think that's the reverse of it is like what you're saying is like you feel like you get stuck and you're like, dude, I don't want to finish it. Like,
Yeah, well, it's exhausting. I mean, those shows like that, well, even like that 70 show too, like the editing makes a lot of the joke writing, the acting, of course, and the editing really does a lot for to procure the jokes, you
Mhm.
know. So if you just, especially if you're acting and you're saying these outrageous things, and cut, we got to do that again. Cut, we got, and if you have a live audience, which they did most times, like I would just think like sometimes you could get stuck.
wait, How Much Mother had live audience?
Some of them, yeah.
Well, because
I don't think every
I've heard
episode.
that they just throw laugh tracks.
Mm.
And I saw something. It was like the laugh tracks that they're using are from like people from like the 20s.
Yeah, a lot.
So
of
like
them.
you're actually listening to like dead people.
Yeah,
laugh.
you listen to.
And
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
I saw an example of Friends with no laugh track and Big Bang Theory,
Okay.
and they're
Not funny.
No, it's just really, really strange. Now, if they had real people there, like you could kind of get the feel of like of this is because you're judging somebody's behavior like a reaction to what someone else is doing.
Yeah.
But when you take those out, it's just like, yeah, it just seems very fabricated, and that's what those shows are. And those
Yeah.
shows, well, used to make a lot of money. Where I think the whole cast of Friends and the whole cast of Big Bang Theory, they negotiated because they wanted like the same pay
Yeah.
with each other. They didn't want like levels, so they each they settled with about $1 million per episode.
That's easy. That's light
Right, and there's like 12.
That's casual.
12 to like 18 episodes, depending on the
per season
Charlie Sheen had 2 million per episode
for
for
2.5 Men?
2.5 Men.
damn. Well, the thing about Friends is there's 8 seasons, something like that. 22 episodes a season.
God damn.
Do the math. That's a lot.
Yeah, I wonder what it was at first. Like, I wonder how many seasons it took to get to.
Yeah, I mean, probably like
I mean,
at least like 4 seasons, probably. But like, I mean,
maybe.
Friends was huge. I think even at the time, which
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of before us, but
I think that was right after Seinfeld.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Seinfeld
was
the
like
big
the
dog,
OG,
was the
then
big
in
dog.
Friends.
Mhm.
Then it kind of broke off into a bunch, I think, because that's when you got, The Office, How I Met Your Mother.
I think How I Met Your Mother and That 70s Show was like a little before, because Office, or the U.S. Office, started in 2005.
When did How I Met Your Mother start?
I think it was like 2000, 2001, or 2000.
Oh, okay, so
Or 2004, or 2003.
it was one of those. Well, you could always tell too, because like the first couple like seasons of those shows like are shot like that they're not the HD, they're not the 1080p. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, and then granted, because so many things happen in each year or each like season, like fall or the spring, whatever. Like a year or 2 years is like not like kind of far away in a way. That's why it's like, oh well, did it happen in this
yeah,
time period?
yeah.
Um, Because if you would have, if like, let's just say How I Met Your Mother stacked up with The Office, like there's a chance that one of those maybe would have flopped because like maybe everyone really liked this one show or whatnot.
Right.
So I
So
don't
it's kind of staggered.
Yeah, so I don't exactly know what all.
It also
happened.
depends on what network. Because I actually think they were probably, because I know Office was NBC. I don't remember what How I Met Your Mother was. Was it ABC?
That's a good question. I think if
I wish we could look.
If you go back, so we could do it on here. So if you just go to Google, or
Is that it right here? This white?
we might have to close it somehow if we're able to.
We're learning how to work this. We don't want to AirPlay. What are all these other ones? It's not it. Is it here? Looking for TV. It's right here. The TV's right here.
So maybe just try bedroom TV. Oh, there we go.
Wow. All right. We are
That's all
back,
we have.
folks.
So look up
Okay.
How I Met Your Mother. I think was
Look up How I Met Your Mother. We're doing it where I click and he types. Twin brains.
that's how we do
If
it.
you guys can guess already, we're twins. I just don't have my glasses on. So it looks like they're 2005. How much?
Oh, okay. So we're okay. They were competing. They both were madly successful.
I don't like that 70s show. I don't know if you know this about me.
at all.
No, it's
What?
not funny to me.
Any part of it.
I just don't get it. And like, I think me and Austin had this conversation. He's like, it's because you don't smoke weed. And I was like, I did back in the day. I just don't find it that funny. I don't know why.
There was. I mean, it's kind of like a lot of other multi-cam sitcoms where you're waiting for this reoccurring reaction from the characters because they're always exaggerated. Like Kelso was always like the dumb, or Ashton Kutcher was always like the dumb. Like, let's see what he reacts to this because he's just going to say something like super dumb.
Yeah.
And then the character that played, or the main guy that was Venom in the first
Oh,
Spider-Man, I forget his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like
about.
he's gonna say something really dorky and very. It's like,
Like the roles were really like. Is that what you're talking about? Like the roles they're playing?
yeah, it's like, yeah, it wasn't. I guess like when I was watching that show, it was more about like more like character, like what this character is gonna base. But I think that's like any multicam show, really,
Yeah.
because they need the audience reaction. It's like it's almost like it's setting it up. Where if it was like a single cam where there's no audience,
Wait, was it live? Was it live or was it laugh track?
some of them, yeah.
Okay.
I think there was. I don't know what if there was like the first and maybe the last episode of the season, because like when I would see bloopers of these shows, like they would be an audience.
Oh, really?
But there's definitely laugh tracks. In
Yeah,
lot of
definitely. Okay,
episodes.
yeah. Well, I noticed like when I went to Dr. Phil, they cue you when to clap. So like you'll hear a cue. So like some people in the audience or like in the corners will be like production people. So when they start like clapping really loud, everybody has to clap. So and then like you'll hear people laughing really loud, so then you have to laugh. And like I think it even said like laugh.
Yeah.
So like they're like almost cueing the audience.
SNL's like that too.
Yeah.
Well, they'll like have an applause. I don't think that when they say a joke, it's like laugh. You know, like
Yeah.
because there's been some jokes that have bombed. So like there's definitely that. But yeah, it's because it's for the cameras and for
What's going on here?
I don't know. It doesn't.
It only
there's
works
some
for Austin.
There's some information that it's trying to hide.
Yeah. They're like, you're not supposed to know about the laugh track. It's the government.
You will never laugh again in your life. Yeah, that's like I watched that 70s show when it was on. I would watch How I Met Your Mother, but I've never watched it in synchronization.
I've done it. Yeah.
Just Parks and Rec, which I think I said I was gonna start again.
Yeah.
with my lady. Just
Parks
because
and Rec is solid, dude. Honestly, I like it more than The Office at times.
yeah.
I think it's a better cast.
Well, it's an original idea because The Office, it's not. It's like it's taken from a different version.
But then like Parks and Rec wouldn't have started without The Office because The Office got so big and it's another NBC show. They're both NBC.
Well, it's possible because it's possible it could have just because Amy Poehler like was on SNL, and there was like a big SNL cast.
Yeah.
But maybe the Office hit NBC, and then they were like, oh, people like this
Workplace environment kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's what that was like Ricky Gervais, the original the creator of it. That's what he wanted to do. There's a little documentary on the creation of that. He's like, I want to bring like real life humor, like where like you're in an office and you laugh at the situations. You don't laugh at jokes necessarily.
Right.
And then the studio BBC was just like you're not like no one's gonna want to watch this shit. So they did it, and they had to almost fund it themselves. And they got it on the air, and then it kind of worked.
I'm not gonna lie, like the first season of The Office, like it's a tough watch. Like I didn't like it at first. It took me like 4 times to like it because I did. But once you understand the comedy, it's like that awkward like moment comedy that like once you understand that, then it's like, oh my god, this is hilarious. It's so smart, and that's why it was so big. But then Parks and Rec was like, okay, everyone loves the workplace, comedy. Let's do it again, basically.
Yeah, well, Michael, because at first you didn't want him to win. Like you weren't on his side really. You were just like, oh, this guy's kind of creepy. Like, he's, and because you think like, oh, this is a boss. Like if this was my boss, he'd be fired and all this stuff. But then you realize like, oh, he just wants people to like him, and then you see, you start to kind of believe the workspace. Where Parks and Rec, pretty much right away, like you liked everybody.
Yeah. Well, actually, Chris Pratt wasn't even supposed to be on there. He's only supposed to be in the first like 2 episodes, and that's it. And he ends up being like one of the mainstays of the whole thing.
Same with what's the
Donna.
She
was supposed to be out too. Yeah,
and she just happened to just.
Well, that's so funny that like you in your mind as a writer, director, whatever. You're gonna write somebody off, right? Like somebody's gonna be off the show, and then it. But then seeing it on screen and seeing like the chemistry, you literally change the writing because it's like, oh my god, we got to keep them now. Mm-hmm. Like I saw like I watched I follow a couple film Instagrams, and what's it called, Breaking Bad. Jesse Pinkman, he was supposed to be written off in like the 9th episode, so he was supposed to be written off, and then now it's like, I mean. There was no Breaking Bad without Jesse Pinkman. So
the character was too deep.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That in Parks and Rec, maybe they just wanted like a small circle.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's easier to write 4 main characters and some sides, opposed to like having now like 12 main characters, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they just realized, oh, like this is like the family now. This is the office, like, or the office of Pawnee now. Like this is like.
Well, I mean, like The Office did that too. Like if the first couple episodes of The Office, it's a big cast, and then kind of just dwindle it down. And then once you dwindle it down, you like keep that core, and then you expand. You know what I mean? So I think that's what they did.
Yeah, Pawnee was tight because it had a lot of like opposing kind of personalities. So you see Leslie, she's this pretty like progressive, like liberal
A-type,
like I guess like kind of like government worker. And then you see Ron, who's this like hardcore libertarian who just is like no nonsense,
anti-government.
And you get to see those, and like he just has a very polarizing face. Like he looks like what's that cat?
Yeah, it's like a grumpy cat.
What's the Garfield?
Yeah.
That's what I thought every time I see that.
Well, there's a cat that like literally looks like Ron Swanson.
He died too, not like a couple years ago, I think.
The guy who played Ron Swanson?
Cat? No, Angry Cat.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, the guy who played Ron Swanson died?
Yeah.
No, he's alive. He plays some like kooky like roles now though.
Yeah,
pretty interesting. Like he's like taking the beard mountain man crazy guy to like a whole nother level. Because he like, I was watching that Devs. I think it's called Devs. It's the Hulu show. And he's like, it's like a really weird sci-fi show. And he's in that. And he's like this weird mountain man thing. But I was like, damn, you took Ron and like went like times a million with sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think he's somewhat similar to his character on Parks and Rec in this scheme that he does like woodwork and all that.
Yeah.
And then he kind of talks this like his voice is like, it's not like he changed his voice for the role or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well, they say that excuse me. They say that all the characters are all like their themselves in real life.
well, Aziz Ansari for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say Chris Pratt's kind of like that. Like they all like they were all kind of playing themselves. Like Aubrey Plaza is like that too. So, and I think one of the things that's pretty interesting is I didn't know the guy who plays Ron Swanson. I can't think of his voice. Offerman, Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
Offerman. I'm just saying like last name's wrong today.
Yeah, we're just opposing.
Yeah, tomato.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we're twins. That Tammy, the crazy Tammy, that's his wife in real life. Because I didn't know that because they were doing the like a COVID special, and they had like them all come back and like they did like a Zoom call, which they all look awful.
Yeah,
with no
did.
camera,
Yeah, it was weird.
with no like makeup and stuff. But and then I saw Tammy was with Nick Offerman, whatever her name is, and I was like, oh, what the heck? Like they got together, and I was like, oh shit, they're probably married. So
or they were just so into their role that they're like,
they got married
come
from
over
that.
and then we got to fuck for this show.
Yeah, he's like, we just gotta make it authentic. You should
Like
just probably come over.
Like when he like got the Jerry curls going and he's
Yeah.
like, he like was like like withdrawing and
Yeah, dude, that shit's hilarious.
or he's like it's just in the beginning he's just like she's here.
Yeah, she's here. I love the one where like Tammy
yeah.
1 comes and he like grabs his backpack and he's like, I'm gonna be gone. And he like runs away to like the mountains and he's like, I'm gonna live there or whatever. And he's there for like weeks.
He goes to the like that waffle place. He's like, give me all of the eggs you have.
Yeah, all the eggs and bacon.
I don't think you understood me. I mean, all of them. And then he's just like,
He's like, my man. Yeah, dude. No, he's one of the best in that show for sure.
yeah, my favorite too is like when little Sebastian comes about and he just gets like so
Hack
ecstatic.
giddy.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's all just going crazy for him.
Well, I love what's Ben's name? Ben, I forgot his name in real life.
In real life,
Yeah. The dude, he's basically the dick from Step Brothers, but he like doesn't get the little Sebastian hype. Like everybody's in love with him, and he's like, it's just a horse or whatever.
Yeah, I don't.
And
get
then
it.
like he has to like pretend he's like, oh my god, I get it now, and he's like, no, they don't get it. But
and when they had the gay penguins and like the whole
and he
town,
marries
like,
them.
we're not gonna do this.
yeah,
Like we don't stand for this.
That's so
I
funny.
like those like the town hall meetings because they like every time the people
talk.
people of the city like they're all talking like just super just like what do I tell my child? It's like how old's your child? I don't have a child, but hypothetically, what would I tell a child about
It's
this?
like it's because it just shows like how stupid people are, but it's actually kind of like real. Like, and especially if you ever worked in a customer service job.
Well, you can just know that people are just going in for their own self-interest, even if they make no sense at all.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know how to just say like I don't care about anyone. I just want what I want.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the fact that people go to town hall meetings too.
Yeah, it's like a real thing. I went to one.
Yeah.
I went to one. Like
For
I had to go
what?
for class,
Oh,
but
what
it was
for?
very like nobody talked.
What was
It
it
was
for?
What class?
No, like what was the town hall meeting for? Just general.
No
things?
fucking clue. I think it was like construction. I don't know. It was actually interesting because like an old high school friend, her dad, who's like a cop, was there, and he like recognized me. He's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hey, what's it going?" So I was like, "Why is there cops here?" But not even like I think he was like off duty, but you basically just sit down and like they like talk, and then you can go up. I don't think anybody went up that day. Like it was very like quick. Like we went, we listened, and then we left.
Yeah, I'm sure like some people just if something's happening, like maybe a park, for example, like is getting built around their house, they just want to know in person to person like what is actually happening, if how long it's going to take, and which is
Yeah.
smart. I mean, I definitely don't want to like downplay. Like I'm not making fun of people that go like
Like local government. Yeah, no.
No, it's like it's probably what we all should be doing. But
Yeah, for sure. Like if especially like I think the difference is too if like we're at our parents' houses, but if I like move to a city, plant my flag, this is my city, you could be like give some kind of be like involved in the community, I guess.
when you get older and you're more aware that a lot of things affect you. So
Yeah,
like
but also
now-
like, but who the fuck gets mad at a park? Like, hey, that that piece of dirt over there is gonna be a park.
Well, some people because there's there's a budget going towards that. So people that think that the budget should go towards something in their interest. So the whole like stimulus, like a lot of Republicans are don't like that the money's going towards these services because they think it should be going towards things that they want to get done.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Like it'd be the other way. Like
if
they wanted money to go towards the NRA or whatever, liberals would be up in arms.
Yeah.
Well, they would be against the arm.
They would not be up in arms.
We are not up in arms. But and then like that's their slogan, but it's so confusing. People think like they're actually for, and then everyone becomes NRA.
That should have been that should be a strategy right there.
That's an episode if they go back to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's so funny because like I just see like a bunch of people like I saw on TikTok that were like, we're spending our stimulus. And they're like going to like the Gucci and Chanel store. I was like, I don't think that's what it's for, but whatever. Yeah, which I don't really care. I'm taking my money and I'm honestly, bro. And they were like $1,400 per kid or something like that.
Right.
I was like, I'm
gonna have to make a couple.
I'm about to adopt.
Yeah, see how much something you want costs, and then be like, how many kids will that make to get that thing?
Yeah, it's like I want a new car. I'm gonna have
Tesla,
15 kids. So I was going to talk to you about the Brockhampton album, but you don't know who Brockhampton is?
Yeah, no idea.
So I pulled up a picture of them because I always think they look like a Disney Channel group that just didn't pan out.
Yeah, I think it looks like a whole class reunion.
Mother of God.
I think if you go to the site and then you find the picture, you're able to enlarge it.
Okay. Because I thought I looked at open image, a new tab. There we go. That's what I needed. Bam.
There we go.
Okay. Like all perfectly ethnically diverse singers and rappers. Like this is such like a Disney Channel group that like was maybe a little too like hard, or they all like Disney Channel dropouts. I didn't like it at first, Brockhampton. But this new album, kind of good.
What like kind of style and like music is it like?
Couldn't tell you. It's like rap. It's like rap, but they sing, and there's like a lot like the. I'm trying to think of like how I can describe like the beats, because it's not like rap beats. It's almost more like they do like alternative beats and they sing and rap on it. It's kind of hard to explain. But like when I first got told about them, this girl was like, "Oh, they're like rappers. Like let me show you like some rap." And I was like, "All right, cool. Like you like rap?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Then they showed me this, and I was like, "That's not fucking rap. What the hell?" I mean, like, this is not. You know what I mean? But they're kind of good actually. I'm not like some songs are really good. And then they just dropped an album. So A$AP Rocky and A$AP Ferg are on the album. So those songs are pretty good. There's like some decent ones on there. If I had to like rate the album, I'd probably give it like a nice like 6 out of 10. Some songs are really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
6.5. Yeah, I'll show you the album. But
it's funny, like the guy on the right and then the guy on the far left.
Walmart Kanye?
Dude.
That's Walmart Kanye.
Look at the dents in his head. What happened to him?
I know.
And then look at the guy on the far left. Just so
emo, like, white kid.
Little young Bill Burnham.
Yeah. He looks like
if they went to Starbucks and he's like, "Yeah, man, this guy over here, he's in my rap crew."
You'd be like,
"Yeah,
this fucking emo kid." Mm-hmm. I will say this guy's Kevin Abstract. He's like a singer. He like has his own career. And then I think one of these dudes is Amir Vaughn. I just listened to him and he has his own rap stuff too. So they have like their own solo projects, but I just like looking at a picture of them because I just feel like,
So they all just like are like walking around with a mic, or are they all doing instruments or other things?
That is a fantastic question. Let's see if we can get some like
live,
like some shots of them.
Yeah. Just look up live maybe.
Yeah, because there's like 17 of them. I mean, like it seems like
almost
a lot. Here, you want to type in live?
Yeah, maybe one of them's on the turntables or. No, look.
Hey, we're all gonna sit down. You go solo it out.
We're gonna do it our thing. We'll give you your time.
Tell me that's not some high school performance right there.
Yeah, that looks or like some
like a church
song.
Yeah, like a church
like Austin's in the front row.
Yeah.
It's like both hands.
This is such like a church dance group that would come out and they're like,
that one. Yeah, right there. What? That's some. They're doing breakdancing
Yeah.
from the 80s.
That's like the high school breakdance group, but they're like super inclusive and diverse ethnically.
Yeah, this is very confusing.
I told you, like when I first saw them, I was like, no way, this is a rap group.
Right? I would be kind of angry.
This is them applying for Blue Man Group.
That's their audition.
Yeah.
Audition tape. Only the guy on the left made it because he's bald.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all oh yeah, I forget when I'm like looking at this, there's people that are just listening and they're not looking. We're looking at pictures of Brockhampton live and
Yes.
it's not great. But there's one in their orange jumpsuits and they're completely blue.
Yeah, which I mean is obvious that they're auditioning for the massive Blue Man Group, and only one of them is bald. Hence why I
he
think
made it.
He's or at least is a backup. You know,
But like,
one gets sick.
I mean, look at why is there 17 of them? You ever watch American Dad?
I have.
When they
While
talk,
ago.
there's that episode about Boys 12, and
Oh,
they have like a
yes,
whole
yeah.
boy band group. It's 12, and then they come. Then like before they release their song, they find out there's Boys 13, and they're like, no, 13 boys.
We're doomed.
Look at this.
That is pretty crazy.
But their music's not bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'll show you. Actually, I was thinking about putting one of their songs at the beginning, so I'll show you this.
Yeah, we'll go seek through it.
Yeah.
I would want to watch if there's a documentary or something, just so I could know exactly what is going on.
Yeah. Like, how did all of them find out they were all musically talented
Yeah.
and all get together?
Is it hard to market? Because like, you know how like NSYNC and like Backstreet Boys, they had like, oh, this person's this personality. You know, they could kind of identify them, and
Yeah.
the fans could be like, oh, well, this or this. Maybe they're thinking, well, there's, you know, not everyone's tied to just 4 or 5 people.
Right.
Let's have someone that's, you know, could be this or it could be that.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think the main guy might be Kevin Abstract, this dude.
Is that his actual last name?
No, I think it's just his title. Look up Kevin Abstract. I think that's just his
That's a good last name. That's
yeah, imagine.
Shia LaBeouf.
Him and Shia LaBeouf's next film will be about so maybe they might be. Let's see here. No, his name is Clifford Ian Simpson.
It's not as cool. I see why he changed it.
Yeah, I could see why he didn't want to go by Clifford, the rapper.
Big red Clifford.
What's your name, bro? Yo, what's up, dog? My name's Clifford.
My name's Clifford. This is the
Like
big
the
red dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. That's what I call my dick. I want Shia LaBeouf to come out with an album, because I don't know if he writes music, but he spits.
Yeah, but I feel like him spitting is just because he's so cerebral and he has so many lines he's memorized and like he's had to do these things before. So like I feel like that is just like he's just pulling stuff.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily want him to do like a rap album, but just more of that like poetic
Spoken
kind of-
word.
Yeah, like but have him like in that green room where he did the do it.
Yeah,
so
just
one
do
of them
it.
because that could be one of the songs. Everything's tied into, you know. like,
That's the
don't
album
let your-
cover is just him doing just do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just
Do it. Do it. I heard that was like a college film thing that like they made him or they were asking him to do it.
yeah, I don't know the backstory on that.
Yeah, it's a weird backstory. I think like that wasn't just like Shia LaBeouf being crazy, but like I think there was like college film students like it was a project.
Do you think they did that because they knew it was going to be a meme?
I don't know. I don't know who had the idea of it. Somebody was psycho and literally was just like, put Shia LaBeouf on a green screen. Don't put anything on the green screen, and let's just have him go batshit crazy for 5 minutes.
Yeah, because it's like, what could they have made with that? Maybe like if they just recorded him, and maybe it was like this inspirational, and it's like shots of like fields and nature,
Like a
and
bald
stuff.
eagle.
And there's just this like
The American flag.
There's paths like nah, nah, like really nice. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just
do
it.
But that's the thing is like, it's not even like inspirational because I don't think he even talks. It's just
no. There's no real big context at all. It's like
yeah, just do it.
I'm
Nike.
and it's if he was trying to be inspirational, it didn't work because it was just so confusing and there's so many questions. Like he's wearing all black, he's in a room, he just walks on in a green screen, and he's doing just these weird poses and
These weird hand signs.
But then again, it's like he does these weird art stuff where I'm sure if you asked him, it would be this whole like explanation.
Oh yeah, he'll give you like an entire like why and how and where.
Like he did that music video with this girl where they were like kind of like combat dancing. I don't know what you call it, but it's like where like you're like kind of fighting, but you're like going with their like their body, like kind of thing. I've seen it at raves before. It's pretty gnarly, but it was like where they're almost. It looks like they're fighting,
but they're not, and
they're dancing. Like they're. Like,
is it like an energy thing?
Kind of, and if like you're on psychedelic substances, and if like, because I assume like they were together. It was a guy and a lady.
Yeah.
So it's like this is your one being that completes you. Then it's like you're doing this. Like it was like in the moment with my
you were like,
holy
mind, shit.
I was like, I get it.
I get it.
They were very acrobatic.
You came back to your girlfriend. You were like, with me now.
Don't say anything.
Just feel
Let me just fall on you.
Just feel it.
I'm naked in the middle of the street.
Oh man, that was that. That was the Brockhampton.
Yeah.
We have some tabs open. We're sliding through.
We're profesh. Like
should we talk about that? Oh, should we talk about Castrato?
Yeah.
Do you want to take the lead on this?
Sure. So Castrato, it's a type of art that male. So it started, I believe, like in the 14th or 15th century. Where they realized that if you castrated a young boy's ball sack, as they said it, that they would have I think it's called a high soprano. So where it's
high
like,
voice,
where it's like it's a male's voice but high.
Yeah.
Where like a girl has a different range. It could be high, but it's a different range.
Right.
So they would use that in for operas. And a lot of it was done like in the Vatican, like in the Pope, like it was at Italian. It was like
shocking.
This is like the because they
did they keep him?
They labeled them. I can imagine so. They have
store them. They freeze them.
They have like a button. They're just chained up, and they just press them when they want. Like, sing me happy birthday.
Oh, I meant do they keep the balls?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they give them to their dogs or whatever, or they put them like in that little smoke machine, and they light that. Like, you know what I'm talking about in the mass, they have the smoke, like they just light that on fire.
It's just balls.
And I just like make like, you know, when you have a bag of change, like
yeah,
like I just think like that's the sound. So yeah, I never even thought about that. We should look that up next time.
Yeah, do they keep the balls?
But but they labeled them, these kids, these boys, as angels, like the voice of angels, like that, because
yeah.
And a lot of times too, like women weren't even really granted to be in those performances.
Like at that time.
So in operas, like up until like somewhat recent, like 18th century, like if they had girls acting, it would be guys in drag.
Yeah, well, that was like the Shakespearean stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right. So they would, so they would peel the balls and they would have this title as these performers, but then they would never grow out of that voice. So it would be super high.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, so they wouldn't get tall. So because
puberty, it says you castrate them before puberty.
Yeah. So you keep pretty much all the traits that you stopped at. So if you had good hair, long, straight hair, whatever, you keep that hair. And yeah, I don't know exactly about like other defects, 'cause I'm sure like you couldn't live like longer than usual. But so,
what if you lived longer? What if like because you're stuck in that boy stage, you just live like 130 years?
Perhaps having all of the sperm, never releasing any of that sperm, like it causes you life
superpowers.
Yeah, just singing high notes, like your high voice. It's kind of like Rodan, where you just break glasses, break eardrums, and you get what you want. One of the schedules, one of the conspiracies, which I heard on Joe Rogan, was that that's the reason for Michael Jackson, is that they castrated his balls at a young age.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, because he had that.
When was that? When was Michael born? Like, how was that? The 70s when he was around? with the Jackson 5?
60s, I'm pretty
60s?
sure. 60s, 70s. So I think like he was born early 60s.
Okay.
So they would have.
I mean, that could explain a lot. I'd be fucked up too if you cut off my balls.
And because they don't
At
think
7.
that he actually had like his kids. Because
Oh.
because they think his relationships were pretty much fake. Like it was just kind of fixed.
Right. Like for show.
Yeah. And that he maybe wasn't even able to have sex or anything like that. And then just.
Well, I mean, I think if you're castrated, just the ball. Well, I thought castration was the whole thing. But if it's just the balls, then you could still like do your thing.
Yeah. Click on Castrato, Wikipedia. Let's see.
Well, let's go to the most reliable source, Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's always
Could this
reliable.
writing be any smaller?
Well, you're not wearing glasses, brother.
True.
Is in action. It loses the use of testicles and the male gonad. So it looks like it's just the balls.
All right. I thank you for this. I really needed this visual.
Yeah, well, you know. It's
Thanks.
just a buddy helping a buddy. Just think of it that way. He's helping his
two
music
bros.
career. That's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
You want to get big in the
You
music
want-
industry?
You want bars, bro? Give me these nuts.
Don't worry what I'm using them for.
They serve as great hors d'oeuvre dishes for guests. Like little, like with the toothpicks, just kind of like little olives.
What, for 2 guests?
But they, yeah, but they taste more like, you know, like pork meatballs.
Oh.
Mm. Yum. Are you afraid that like some place that you wouldn't want to be delicious might be delicious?
On your body? Like as like a cannibal thing? Like,
Well, maybe not human dick, but like
oh.
but like bottlenose dolphin wiener being like if you just cut the head and like saute it with some like
Like it's
some
actually good?
fettuccine or something, it'd be like, oh, this
I mean,
is good texture.
I've had foie gras, which is fatty duck or goose liver, which is really inhumane how they do it. Actually, it's actually not supposed to be. It's not available in California.
You have to rip it out live. They just,
No, but it's like how they bring them up. But basically, it's like this little like for 2 ounces, it's like $20, and you put it like on a nice steak. It's like it's expensive, but that was good. And then I also had escargot, just snail. That's not bad.
I just had large and small intestine, which I think was from a pig. I don't know. Was that Korean place by our house in Rolling Heights? That place, like right, like as
Okay.
you turn in,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it at all.
Wait, the Korean barbecue place?
Yeah, Korean barbecue place.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's
mostly
probably.
it was mostly the texture because it was like kind of
Yeah.
crispy when you cook it, and then it was like really soft, and I just
I love Korean barbecue.
I do too.
Bulgogi? Fire.
Bulgogi, spicy pork.
See, the one thing I do is I had pork intestine once, I think, or pork stomach. It smells.
Smells bad.
It smells bad. It smells like fart. It's really hard to get rid of.
Interesting.
I'm sorry to listeners to give that to you, but
Well, you just got to adapt, and
it's pretty rough.
you just got to like the smell of other people's farts.
Yeah, that's not me personally. If that's you,
What if?
Go ahead.
Or what if like it wasn't even the food? What if like when you went to smell, someone just walked by and just farted up,
and that's what it was. It was the waiter.
Like, man, this smells like fart.
He was
And
like, "Fuck those
someone
guys."
Just,
Yeah,
just went off on
just what's that called? Crop dusted me.
you. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
maybe that. Yeah, like you're a live case of that happening. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Actually, the Korean barbecue place by our house did really good during COVID because they were one of the first places that were outside. They were like, we're staying alive, like whatever. Outside, canopies, and then they did like almost because it's like for anybody who doesn't know Korean barbecue, you get the meat raw and then you cook it yourself. It's really thinly sliced, and you have a little like grill in your table, but this place was doing it outside. So they have like little camper grillers. Like basically like you would bring like when you're camping. I think Austin said like you guys had something similar. And you would do it there. And I'm like, that's kind of a good idea. I mean, like they're staying alive and they're still doing it. So
Yeah.
that place was
Yeah.
packed.
Mhm.
I don't know if that because you left before
In-
COVID or during COVID?
During
During
May.
COVID. Okay, yeah.
May I left.
But I don't know if outside dining was open yet. Because when
No, but pretty soon after, it was.
I don't know if you remember driving by
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
packed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we're driving.
line, well, not out the door because they were outside, but line down the parking lot and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of fact because like there's so many restaurants in Rolling Heights. It's like they're gonna have to do something.
yeah,
You would think like every restaurant would do that, even the little tiny.
No, a lot of places died out. I was like super surprised. Like there were some places I'm like there's a place by my girlfriend's house. It's like a little Mexican restaurant. Actually, not that little, but like they're just like closed, and they have a patio too. It's like what? Like I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own, feel for COVID. Everybody has their own, predicaments. But just seeing this restaurant, it was pretty poppin' Mexican restaurant with a big patio. Why are they haven't been open since?
Yeah, it's just based on the owner. If you really wanted to keep it up, because I guess in Worland Heights, places like that where there's just all these pop-up restaurants.
Yeah.
So when there's something like this happens, the owner's like, well, I'm not going to lose money on this. I don't really care about keeping this alive. So I'm just going to keep it closed and not have to pay rent and the utilities and all that stuff.
Yeah, but at some point you're going to have to pay rent. Like, I mean, obviously you're going to open back up, but also too, but think about your employees though. You could stay open. Yeah, you might take a cut as the owner, but like your employees don't have a job.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get employment, but...
Yeah, they just get new employees later. Like if they really are that cutthroat
about
it.
Yeah. If you're being a dick about it. But I'm just thinking like, what's better for the employee? Like getting the unemployment or going to work, having a stable job?
Well, that question's kind of been a toss-up because some people be like, well, but is it worth being safe, right? Like the whole, like, because a lot of my employees, they chose to stay away until things got. Yeah. So like some people didn't come back till the vaccines started happening, which is like a year away. Yeah. A year ago. I'm like, fuck. So you're just inside,
dude. Unemployment was making bank at one point, dude. Like I know somebody was making almost $4K a month.
That's fucking crazy.
And I was making a fourth of that going to work. I was like,
just getting yelled at by people
right now.
Yeah, it makes sense that like why people take that up. I mean, I did it. I did it while I was doing like deliveries and stuff.
Yeah, I did it while I was working. There was like a supplemental one, basically like if your hours got cut because of COVID, you can get some extra pay because like we were living, in the house, and it's like hours getting cut. We still got rent due, and we didn't even ask the guy to like a break on the rent, which I don't even know if he would have done, but
yeah, I think they would have. I that's what I suggested. I was like, hey, like tell them either we pay half this month and then we'll just go back to regular, or if we could skip. But Austin was like,
well, I heard that they can't evict you. They couldn't evict you during COVID, but I think you might have to pay on the back end. Like when things open up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, your tab was this. You lived there. You used your utilities. It's not just free.
Because if everyone did that, then those homeowners would be broke.
Right.
So that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. So,
but Austin didn't want to do that because he's like, oh well, I don't want to throw in these favors and stuff if we have to pay him back, which is fair.
Yeah. No.
But I wonder if he would have thought differently if he knew that you guys were going to be leaving too.
Yeah. I know.
You were there for 3
months. Like June, July, September. Like 3 months, yeah. October.
Damn. You're just moving.
Bro, I moved twice. Well, technically 3. I moved to 3. I had 3 different living situations during the pandemic. Apartment to house, back to my mom's house.
Damn.
Moving. And then I also helped my girlfriend move in the pandemic as well.
Damn.
I don't ever want to move again. And I'm probably going to have to move again when I graduate. But I want to move, but.
So are you going to be moving with your lady, or are you going to just, like the whole idea of getting an apartment or like house with like friends again, is that probably not going to
I don't know. Like nothing on like everybody I lived with, but like I lost like 6 roommates in the span of 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like
all dead.
I'm like, am I just a shitty roommate? No. But like, like I was living with my buddy at my house, and I am now. But we had a spot, and then he moved back home. So then I moved in an apartment with my cousin. Then they moved back home, and then I moved in with you guys, and then everybody else moved back home.
No one liked Luna. No one.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Fuck your cat, bro."
You scratch me. Like everyone has like lifelong like scars.
It's all matching. Everybody has the one. Yeah. You have that too? Link them together.
They turn blue and you start like like levitating. It's the prophecy.
It's the cat that was foretold. So like I don't know, like I want to move in with someone again, and like because it's easier on rent. If I leave the house, I feel like Luna has somebody to hang out with. Like I like the prospect of having a roommate, but it was tough. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do. And it depends on like where I'm working, if I get a new job, where I'm gonna live. I'm like prospecting like cities to live in right now. So
Any of your family, friends like moved out of California like in the last couple years of like just trying to live in cheaper, more affordable places?
I have a lot of people who talk about it. I don't have a whole like my sister moved to Colorado, but that's not even necessarily that much cheaper. No, actually it is cheaper. And then I've had buddies like go out of state for like school and stuff, but not that I can think of. Not really. But a lot of people talk about it though. I mean, like
Yeah.
I've always heard about people talking about it, but not a lot of people actually do it.
And for some people, it might be an easier thing because, like, now this whole COVID thing happened, so a lot of people are working from home. So
Yeah.
now you could just be like, well, I could just work from home.
Yeah. Well,
So,
my uncle told me that the toughest thing is basically once you move out of California, you'll never come back because it's too expensive here. And you're either making less and it's cheaper. So that move to come back to California
You had
is
to be
so
making-
much
yeah,
more
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like once you move, you don't really come back. So
that would be fucking weird too. Be like, oh, I can't like live somewhere just to go to the beach whenever I want it anymore. Like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, and like I know like a lot of people hate on California, which I do too sometimes, but we're kind of like I think it's one of those things where it's like we're like we take it for granted because we like have always lived here. You know what I mean? But it's like I could have like lived in like a third world country. You know what I mean? But I'm living in literally like 40 minutes from LA. Like
Yeah.
life's not that hard. You know, over here. So I don't know. I don't want to leave, but I know like my family wants to leave. I got friends that want to leave. So
Yeah. I want to leave. So like that's like what I would think like I would rather do if I could. But my lady doesn't. So then my decision's made. And
I know,
but
yeah.
I'm totally like cool because like I love it here too.
Yeah, same. Like my girlfriend, like she has to work in LA basically because it's like music. She basically has like 3 spots she can live in. It's like LA, Nashville, or New York. So like those are my options basically.
Yeah, me too.
Which I'm not mad at. Again, like you said, like I like it here. So like if she wanted to move, like then I'd consider it. But
I would.
there's nothing
wanna,
like pulling me away.
Yeah, I would want to like live in different places, like just momentarily, like live in New
Yeah.
York for like.
Like a year.
But even that, I hear like the winters are so brutal.
See,
Like, it's
but like
just-
that's one of the things. It's like everyone tells you about living in the snow, but like I haven't lived in the snow. I've just visited the snow. Like I want to actually like let me try to live in the snow. You
Well,
know,
and it'd probably give you better appreciation for living here.
for sure.
Yeah, like once you're like -20, you can't go outside, and you're just looking at old pictures of you at the
Yeah.
beach.
Well, and the one thing too, I will say that like we're kind of in a weird spot in the IE. Like I feel like if I like eventually I probably will move more western, like towards LA. Like the temperature does go down, so it's not as hot. You know, like that's the one thing is like out here and like especially like when you're at Palm Springs and stuff, it's like 110 in the summers. Like that's too much for me. You know what I mean? So
It is a desert hot though. You know, it's like different than
it's dry heat. Yeah.
Like, have you been to Florida or all those places?
I was in Wisconsin and we had a really high humidity in the summer. And it was like 85 degrees, which you're thinking like, that's solid. It was so hot and so humid and like sticky and like around you. And like, I was like, what what is
Yeah.
this? Like it's 85.
Yeah, I felt my eyelids sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did not like it.
Yeah, like your first time, you almost feel like you're sick. You're like, what is what is
Yeah.
wrong with me?
Yeah.
right
Like
now?
I don't even understand what's happening to my body.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I went there in Texas, which it wasn't as humid. I went there, Florida, and then Nashville. Nashville is probably the worst. And we were out, like a lot of it, we were out like in the nature side of it.
Yeah.
So it was just like a bunch of bugs. And during the nighttime, we were looking because they kind of like a forest behind like the property we had for a wedding, and you're just hearing this like I guess you call them like cicadas or like those like it's like almost those swarms of moths or whatever.
Oh, what the heck?
And you're just hearing just this rattling far away from you, and you're like, we're like, what the like? It was like a horror movie, and
Yeah.
those are like, it's just a bunch of insects.
You're like, nah.
Like, what if I was like, what if I had to walk through there?
Yeah.
I just
Well,
get,
also, like, I mean, I guess they'd be like more scared of you.
yeah,
I
but then you know
guess.
when you go through,
But like, if you're in a moth gang,
yeah, they're not gonna give you space. Like, oh,
Yeah.
just let them.
well, like
let 'em
I've
through.
seen the bugs from Florida. I'm not doing it,
Australia.
bro. Like the crickets or like the bugs, whatever. Like I saw one that was like this big. No.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a-
not
that's
scared
a
of you.
dinosaur.
They're not scared of you.
Yeah. No.
They'll come after you if you want.
Yeah. It's like it's as big as a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Or like flying. Like I heard like who was I talking to? They like went to like India, and like the flies or something like that were like this. Like, bro,
That's gross.
hell no.
Have you ever seen King Kong, the Peter Jackson one?
Yes.
You know, like when they go through and all those bugs attack them?
Yeah.
Dude, my skin crawled.
Yeah,
I was like, I
dude.
felt them,
Yeah.
like, especially when it's
That
like,
that movie scared me as a kid.
I scared me, made me cry. I fucking love that movie.
That was a
so
great
much.
movie.
I love
Yeah.
that movie so
I had the
much.
video game too. That was the first
I
time
remember
I
that.
realized that a gun's ammo was a magazine. Like, you know what I mean? Like a magazine for an ammo. Because we're playing the game and he's like, I need a magazine. We're like, why does he keep asking for a magazine? Like,
Does he want to jerk off or something?
yeah, like what the hell's wrong with this guy? And then like we looked it up and we're like, oh,
Give me a
'cause
magazine.
We're like kids.
Did
Yeah.
they,
and
they
we're like,
say like the 20s too? Like,
yeah,
"Hey, give me
yeah,
a magazine.
I need a magazine.
Need a magazine, sport.
Magazine here. Yeah.
There's a guy that's selling magazines. Magazines.
Magazine. It's just in the side.
Read
It's
all
like
about it.
King Kong's right here, and he's like, "Get your magazine."
He doesn't, and he's like, no, King Kong, I need a dime for your effort. And he's like, oh, and he like goes back. She gets his
Yeah.
wallet.
Thank you, sport.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so that was
good.
the first time. But yeah, no, fuck that. I'm not a bug guy. Not gonna do that.
Like if it's like I'm fine. Like if I don't get anxiety, like if I feel like a hornet or a bee like climb on me, you know, like I'll do that one of those quick things. But I'm not like
I am now. I used to be a little more of a bitch about it. Now I'm like half bitch. So like now like oh shit. And I'll be like
like if
after
we were
it-
having a conversation like we're doing now and a bug hits you, like you couldn't go back in the conversation right away. You'd be like,
no, I could because we're on camera. No, because I'd be like, yeah, whatever. It's a
you'd
G.
be just dead sweating.
Yeah, I'm like
is
shaking.
it hot in here?
Yeah. That was like me with this thing. I was like sitting in my mouth. I'm like, this is disgusting. I think it was grounds, bro.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it was milk.
I think you just put it in your mind like it could be milk, and I think you just kind of gross yourself out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
If-
wanna know.
Like if I make coffee here, because especially if we ground the beans a little too much,
Yeah.
so where like by the end of the cup, there's like the grounds.
That's why I tell my mom they like it really fine. And I'm like, well, it's getting through the filter.
It's going through the filter, and it's not going to brew as much.
Yeah.
So like you'll like want this when it's going to give you that.
Yeah.
So when I see it getting down there, because I don't want to taste it, I'll just down whatever's left, just so.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you down the grounds.
Yeah, because for some reason I think, oh, maybe I'll get more like caffeine out of it.
It's like an edible.
I'll just chew it.
It's like an edible. Yeah. You just put it in your gums.
If you were to snort grounded coffee, would that actually work?
That's a great question.
Because it's not, because it's like I would think like cocaine or like any like vitamin or whatever. It's
Right.
like it's all pressed and it's all crushed. Where
Well, coffee, I think it's the extraction of, well, no, but it's the grounds. I don't know. That's a great question.
maybe we could do like a live kind of like snort off with me, you, and Austin.
All right. So someone does Coke, someone does they're the control group. And then someone else does coffee and Coke.
decaf.
Yeah.
Someone does Coke and someone does decaf. Like,
Yeah. And then the other one
super-
does regular coffee.
I paid one of my buddies $10 for to store you know that candy where you have the like that Willy Wonka candy where you have the magic stick and then it's like you have the powder, the sour powder.
Yeah.
Like so that powder, I was like, I'll give you $10 if you snort that. But like he was dead broke, so I think he would have done anything,
Done
like,
anything?
for $10.
That's not great. Like he definitely is going to be,
Yeah, he said it hurt.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. No, those sugars, I'm like, what is in this sugar? Like, I mean, I know it's sugar, But like, what else did they put in here? You know what I mean?
To give it its
Yeah.
addictive nature.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's probably just sugar.
yeah, just sugar, like 6 types of sugar. What is it, like glucose, sucrose, and
Like all of them.
all those things. A little bit of crack.
Sugar is the worst thing like ever to be invented because it's so good and so bad for you.
Yeah, it's deemed as like not like there's never been like a prohibition for sugar,
Right.
where like tobacco, alcohol, and obviously drugs, like
Yeah.
illegal drugs. Sugar, nah, just figure it out. Don't eat as much. Like they just they have the guidelines kind of.
Yeah.
As you see the obesity and diabetes numbers just climbing
With the sugar, with more sugar being introduced
like
into
it would
society.
like if the people that really started extracting sugar saw like that was happening to us, they'd be like,
Yeah.
oh we got to not do that now,
Yeah.
or maybe a candy bar would just be like $1,000,
$15. Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
So then like
Well, that's what they did with the tax on like the cigarettes. It's like, okay, you want it, we're trying to like decrease it, so like let's make it more expensive. Like a sugar tax, they should for sure do that.
well because
But think about it too, like coffee, like literally, we have Starbucks here. Like Starbucks is like feeding off addiction, basically. Your addiction to coffee. People are 100% addicted to coffee. It's a full-on addiction. It's a stimulant, and it's totally unregulated.
and it's
Legal.
fine. Yeah, you could get it at the store, the gas station.
Actually,
Browns.
okay, I won't say it's unregulated because at the beginning when the cold brew first came out, you couldn't get it with no water. They were telling me like that. You
So
couldn't
if you
get it
got-
with no water.
Oh, so they dilute it, but on purpose to meet the standards.
Yeah. Then they said fuck it, and they started doing it.
So would it would just be? So would the result of having cold brew with no water just be a larger chance of of the addiction behavior?
Well, also just like your caffeine content. Like I mean, I remember I went to Rad and they have a Trenta cold. It's like a 30-ounce cold brew. I said Trenta, 30-ounce cold brew, and it's with 4 shots of espresso. Like I was literally sitting there like I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I did not feel good. My anxiety was through the roof. And you're actually not supposed, like I don't really have like anxiety, but like if you are somebody that has like diagnosed anxiety, you're not supposed to have that much coffee.
Well, I would think if you drink a lot of coffee, especially like high doses of caffeine,
Yeah.
and if you stop, like you
Yeah,
will have anxiety.
Yeah. Or
Just
I
mean,
mean,
because
like
you want that thing.
people have coffee headaches when they don't have enough coffee. You know what I mean? And they look up like world's strongest coffee real quick. There's this one coffee. There's like a warning label on it. Where the hell is the?
It's probably just kind of go back and forth. Yeah,
There
it's
we
on
are.
here.
There we are.
So go to the left.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, look up world's strongest coffee. This thing is there's like I think this is the one I'm thinking of. There's like a skull and crossbones on it. Bro, look at this.
Biohazard coffee.
Hell nah.
Dang, they're really selling that. Do you want the most badass coffee?
Look, it's like warning.
Warning: if you are pregnant,
12 deadliest. Then says strongest.
yeah, deadly strongest
Black label.
black label.
Very strong coffee. That's a
Very-
very good name for it. High voltage. I think this is the one I've seen.
These sound
High
like
voltage.
pre-workout brands.
Yeah, and I like how they're all like black.
Black
too.
Insomnia, Maximum Charge. Well, I
Yeah,
guess-
they all do like sound like Death Wish. Can we get some of that Death Wish?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't buy it if it was called Happy Bunny Brew.
I feel like I'd be more inclined to buy it because I'd be like, you know what? I might not die from this one. The one that says
Band. Arabica. Shock.
Bones.
Bones. High Voltage. Atomic Coffee.
Oh, yeah, perk up
Perk
sounds
Up.
kind of a little better.
That's kind of nice. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, do you want to perk up in your morning?
Yeah, double tap.
Double
Just
tap.
guns
with,
on there.
Yeah, with a target with somebody getting shot in
Yeah.
the heart. Red goat.
Okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, but like like Biohazard, like who wants to have a coffee named Biohazard or Death Wish?
Did you think that Chernobyl was bad?
try this coffee?
Biohazard.
Try 8 ounces of this.
Chernobyl would be scared in the face of high voltage coffee. Yeah, who drinks that? You think like CEOs or stock traders?
Like why though? Like it's not like, I mean, 928 milligrams.
What's a regular cup of coffee? Milligrams of caffeine.
Look it up.
Look at caffeine. Or I will.
I think Starbucks is double a normal one, and I think Coffee Bean is next. Caffeine. Okay. Let's see what this is. If you're not watching us, we're Googling. Okay, no, that's the chemical compound.
We're not that smart.
Yeah.
Try to look up all the different types of milligrams and coffee and different things. Maybe Spectrum was
probably a poor
list.
Just look up coffee milligram list or something.
We're not trying to get crazy here.
Yeah, that's not
Starbucks double shot energy, 135 milligrams.
That thing had 900 milligrams. The black coffee, that like biohazard.
That's fentanyl for coffee.
Literally. Okay, so like a venti Starbucks Pike Place, 410. So it's double that. Blonde roast, Grande is 360, but the blonde roast has more caffeine. Dunkin' coffee, 270. Americano Grande, 225. Damn, these are all Starbucks. Do they have any like non?
Is this a Starbucks
it's
website?
One Dunkin', I know. Here's a Dunkin' latte, 166. Bottles and cans. Death Wish. There's a Death Wish again.
That's the mild
300
one.
for 8 ounces. This is 400 for 20 ounces. 300 for 8 ounces. That's so much.
Well, what's crazy is like you could drink all that. You could drink like a cup of that or whatever, and then you're inclined to do that the next day.
Yeah, because now that's your like. I feel like that's like your tolerance. I mean, just like anything you do, like if you have a tolerance for it, that's now your new level to go to.
And you don't see that as a negative addiction. You see that as a positive addiction because it does you good, which means that when you drink it, you don't regret drinking it. It's not like going on a drinking binge and being like, oh, I can't drink. Like,
right.
It's like you drink this. Okay, I did my thing. Now, next day, in order to do my things well, I need to keep doing this.
Keep doing it. Yeah. Like I need it. The one thing I will say though, a lot of coffee on an empty stomach, dude, like is rough. I feel really shitty like that. Like my stomach, I get like a little anxiety, a little jitters. I don't like that. But if I have a full stomach, you know what I mean? Yeah,
true.
Bangs are 300 per 16 ounces. It's not bad.
Have you ever had a red line?
No.
Those ones are pretty intense.
Are
I had half of one before work and I was shaking.
Ben & Jerry's ice cream, 66 grams of caffeine.
You bastards. Trying to get us addicted
coffee
to
ice cream, but they just apparently have real ice cream in there?
Maybe that's why they sell coffee ice cream, because they want you more addicted to it, more than the, if you want to lay off the chocolate that's already addictive.
Do you know the thing with chocolate? Apparently all chocolate is like slave trade, child labor. Some child labor.
All of it, like currently right now?
Yeah. I saw it from like a class and like one of my classes, and like Nestle is like part of it. Like all the big names are all from it's like a certain part in Africa. It's like child labor and slave labor, and they like kidnap kids, and like that's where it comes from. And like there's like a whole like documentary on it. Like they try to like go to like Nestle, they try to like whatever, and like everyone's like discounting it. And, like it's pretty crazy.
I mean, yeah, it's like if you think about pretty much everything. Like if you look like in this room, maybe beside for some of the instruments, because they're maybe handmade, but like the fabrics, or clothes, maybe certain parts of like all the metals.
Yeah,
well, for sure. Apple, they have those places in the Congo to get those really rare like metals, like for the iPhones.
Really?
Yeah, they have a Vice documentary on it. It's really good.
But is it like illegally? Well, not illegal. Well, I guess it might be illegal, but like, is it unethically sourced?
Basically, so it's like these companies. It's kind of like oil.
Again,
it's looping.
That's what I was saying. I thought I was gonna keep going over here.
Yeah. Oh, I see. It's fine because you could stretch it and it'll.
So it's not gonna rewrite it or anything.
No.
Okay.
No, it's still recording.
Should we just do it one more time? Go over the song again? No, I'm just kidding.
Just redo the whole thing.
Can I just like take out? How do you delete this song? I don't want to
So-
stop recording though.
So go just kind of like press and like kind of drag over it like that, and then I'll just press 0. But
Damn. Okay, we're good. What is that even from?
I have no idea. No idea. Like why is it so short anyway? Because you guys just have the intro song.
But that's not for anything we've done.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know why.
Did you put that in? It was like sabotage.
Because it's called Selfish. No,
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Apple knew we were going to talk about their mining operation, so they needed to distract us.
I know. I was like unethically sourced. I was like, burn.
Child labor. So these mining companies go into places with these metals. So they go to Congo, especially,
Yeah.
and they go in and like there's no great communication with the tribes or whatever is there with the government because the government is unstable.
Right.
So they have security companies that come out. They're pretty much just kind of tell what they're going to do. Who cares if you think otherwise? And they employ some of the people. And because they need protection, like some protection. So there's different armies and different tribes that will make deals to like, they'll help them out if they kind of get more like leaning power over
Right.
the area.
Well, is it like kids that are getting it, or is it?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of younger boys.
Yeah, because I saw from the documentary I saw, and I it's escaping me right now, but like all of the chocolate of the world is like that. Like I don't know if there's like very much chocolate that's not unethically like sourced, like not child labor, not underpaid labor, not all that stuff, whatever it is. So
Makes sense. I mean, the sugar, what is it? The sugar fields, like Cuba and all these places,
like
like
Hawaii.
Hawaii, like the U.S. government just pretty much just
Took it over.
started coups in the
Yeah.
governments to go get it.
I learned that from one of my history classes because like I feel like like especially because I went to a private school, but like I feel like in elementary school, like history, it's like, oh, like we're the U.S., like we're like we help out the good guys or whatever. And then you like go to like a more advanced like history, and it's like, so the U.S. went into different countries and overthrew their government to find someone in power that they liked that would work with them to get their resources. And it's like, oh, okay, that's why people don't like
And
this.
then it's crazy because then you hear that in old times, and then you see that happening currently, like in the Middle East.
Mhm.
So you're like seeing what they're doing, and be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing now.
Because I remember specifically the Hawaii one, where like they like overthrew like the queen or whatever it was.
The Queen of Hawaii.
Yeah, and then like to get like the like the CNH, the white sugar that everybody has, so that we can like take over production or something like that.
Yeah, and that just happened in like the 50s, I think. 50s or 60s.
It was like more recent than
they're them or Alaska's the most. No, I think it's Hawaii's the most recent state that was introduced.
I think so too. Yeah, and I don't know, or maybe it's Hawaii. The only thing they produce that's not run by the U.S. is sugar. It's one of those. It's either that like we took over their sugar production, or the only thing they have is sugar.
No, we took over. We took
never mind.
over,
We took it
and
over.
then for the companies and the families that would like comply, like they'll get stakes
Right.
in the business.
Yeah.
But then they started making the real estate value too much for the islanders. And so when that happens, kind of like the Native Americans here, it's like, well, oh, that sucks. There's a Starbucks, where your farm used to be. So what you got to do is just get a job for the Starbucks and start working with our society, and then you can get wealth. And then so it's like, in a way, it's almost seems like necessary evil. Like if you like how you live, like because we live in a Western society.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, oh, well, I guess that had to happen.
Like it didn't, but like you were never going to get to a certain level of economic wealth and society without it.
Because they wanted, because the U.S. could have been like, oh, you want your own island? Cool, we'll just go away because we have our own fucking country. but they're like, oh, but this.
I mean, and Hawaii has a
sugar-
lot of money for like if you look at it compared to like other like island countries and stuff.
They're talking about now. Like
Yeah,
only?
yeah. I
With
think
the
Hawaii
with
probably.
the tourism.
Yeah,
mostly.
exactly, and all that stuff. So I bet it definitely has a lot more money there. But yeah, it's just like it's not like you just don't know about that stuff growing up, and you find out, and you're like, oh, so we're kind of assholes. It's like yeah, it's like everyone's kind of right about America being assholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
One, it's not just America because obviously like the English Empire had bigger stakes and France. So what I mean by that, it's like there's all these big powers that are kind of doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So we just happen to be
You're trying to take control of the most territories and most resources.
well because it's like you're looking out for team number one as yourself.
yeah,
So that's why you see like Puerto Rico and all these other, or even like Guatemala, who's like their own country, but it's like actually like had a coup by the U.S. in the 50s,
Yeah.
so they could. And then you see like Mexico and Brazil and all these, and you see why they're corrupt because like the U.S. and a lot of Western powers are trying to get to the resources, so they're trying to comply. I think they're probably trying to do what they did to Hawaii, but Hawaii's so fucking small.
yeah.
So they were able to really just, beat them out. Where it's like it was this slow rise of like trying to have democratic values and then it not working. And then that's why it's like such a shit show.
yeah.
On that note, kind of want a candy bar right now.
You're like, man, I want some chocolate. No. It's a good thing I never liked chocolate, so I've been pretty.
You knew. You always knew.
Yeah, I've been pretty ethical.
You're
this
like,
whole time.
that's not right.
I was
know
like,
why.
I don't like this, and I don't know why. I got like the flashbacks from Nam. You know what I mean? Like the helicopters going over, and I'm like,
never
no.
again.
Yeah.
Not me.
All right. How long have we been going for now?
I don't know.
Oh,
now
'cause
it's
it's-
loop.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no idea.
That might be a decent spot to end it.
Yeah.
End it on a high note with child labor and the U.S. taking over everywhere.
Yeah, it's a little bookmark for what is to come for this anti-American podcast. Wish Austin
revolution.
was here. Austin, so if we didn't explain it in the beginning.
Well, we're explaining the intro
Oh, I got
because
you.
we still got the intro.
Oh, true. All right, well, you'll know this already.
You'll know, but Austin's sick. You know what I mean? He's going to be isolating from us at least, for right now.
Yeah,
But,
he's behind the wall, probably listening with like a cup.
yeah, he's like, God, these guys suck.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm changing this to the Austin podcast. But hopefully he gets better soon, and he'll be here next week. So today we got the twins.
Twin boys.
Follow us on all our socials, Big Small Talks Podcast. Hit the bell below, subscribe, all the usual shit. Rate, review, fucking follow.
Or if you just want to
respond.
If you want to have this on your computer while you're fucking, just please do. Please
Yeah.
do. And shout us out while you do it.
Yeah.
Tag us. That'd be great.
Yeah. Like Pornhub, Big Small Talks.
Yeah, we'll get in there. I mean, because we're over 18, so we could get this uploaded. We could start going over there.
I've told Austin we're going to have an OnlyFans. Like I've you know what I mean? We should just do the Big Small OnlyFans.
Yeah, but we need signatures. We need people on board with it,
Yeah.
so we can show. Austin has no choice
Yeah.
but to do it.
We're just forcing his hand.
Yeah. So also, it's like if if struggling with money, you need a second form of income. Think you got what it takes to have an OnlyFans. We have the studio space. We have the lights.
Oh, we just start renting this out.
Yeah, we have conditioner. We have whatever you need.
Sanitizer,
anything.
whatever.
Gloves. We could keep these if you want to stick these up your ass. We could keep these and just keep them in the cupboard. We have a lot of. I mean,
We'll make things do. Well, thank you as always. Yeah, that's it, boys.
yeah. Thanks for watching.
All right. Later.